Breaking news! The Denver Broncos just made a move that could shake up the entire trajectory of this season, and no one's talking about it yet. But trust me, once word gets out, this is going to light up Broncos country. It's not your typical roster shuffle. It's the kind of under-the-radar decision that smart teams make when they're quietly gearing up for a deep playoff run. I've got all the details, and I'm telling you right now, this could be one of the most important developments heading into week 1. The vibes behind the scenes are shifting fast. There's a level of confidence in this building that we haven't felt in years. But before I drop everything I know, if you're a real Denver Broncos fan, the kind who still remembers every play from the 2015 Super Bowl run, hit that like button. And if you're the kind of fan who never took the flag down even during those rough seasons, comment below, go Broncos! We can make it to the Super Bowl. Now get ready, because what I'm about to tell you might just change the way you look at this roster going forward. Sean Payton has pulled another strategic move from his bag of tricks, and this time it involves an international twist. Enter Patrick Murto, an absolute athletic monster who just joined the Broncos practice squad. Standing at 6 feet 6 inches, weighing 250 pounds, and with a background in decathlon and Australian rugby, this guy isn't just athletic, he's a physical phenomenon. Originally with the Jaguars, Murto's trajectory was derailed after he suffered a broken ankle during his 8th practice. But the hype? Still through the roof. Jacksonville insiders described him as a total stud, and even tight end Evan Ingram was floored by how quickly Murto was learning and adapting to the game. That's no small endorsement. Now, here's the kicker. Because of his international status, Murto doesn't count against the 16-player practice squad limit. It's a sneaky smart move that Payton even joked about, asking players if any of them had parents born in foreign countries to make room. But jokes aside, this is serious business. Murto might just be the hidden gem that makes everyone forget about Caleb Lohner, whose future with the team is still uncertain. And given how thin the tight end room is behind Ingram, one of the most criticized units on the team last year, this could be a crucial pickup. In 2023, the Broncos tight ends ranked 31st or 32nd across every major category. If anything happens to Ingram, the team could be in serious trouble. But now, with an ultra-athletic project like Murto stashed away, there's a sliver of insurance and a whole lot of upside. Sean Payton continues to showcase his calculated approach to the practice squad, differentiating players as either developmental types or AAA options, guys ready to step in immediately. Caleb Lohner fits the developmental mold, while players like Lavelle Bailey and Adam Prentice are considered immediate backups. Murto? Somewhere in between, but with a ceiling that could go through the roof. And speaking of good news, how about that Marvin Mims update? The young receiver had fans on edge after leaving practice with a groin injury, a type of issue that can linger and ruin seasons. But Payton quickly killed the rumors. Not only did he say there was zero concern, he doubled down, confirming that Mims will be back at practice after the weekend. That's massive. Mims, who played nearly 100% of the preseason snaps with Bo Nix, didn't even get unleashed with any of the gadget plays yet. Payton clearly has high expectations for him going into year 3. Now, there's one area that's sparking concern, and that's the linebacker situation. Payton hinted at a pitch count for both Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw heading into week 1 against Tennessee. That alone suggests he's worried about durability, and the roster construction backs it up. Denver is absolutely stacked with inside linebackers on the practice squad: Jonas Griffith, Kareem Reed, Lavelle Bailey. Combine that with Drew Sanders' expected return, and it's clear Payton is hedging his bets. If Greenlaw can't stay healthy and only gives the team 10 games, that changes everything. But if he plays 16 plus, this defense could legitimately be the best in the NFL. That's how impactful he is. There's also been a noticeable vibe shift from Payton himself. The confidence, the looseness, the leadership, it's all coming together. This is a different version of Sean Payton than what we saw last year. Last preseason, he looked tense, almost bracing for impact. This year, he's joking, filming challenge videos with fellow alumni, and letting his coordinators shine. He openly gave credit to Davis Webb for calling the last preseason game and praised special teams coordinator Ben Kotwica and punter Jeremy Crenshaw for adjusting their approach after some early camp struggles. And speaking of that punting situation, yes, it was a hot topic on Broncos Twitter. Jeremy Crenshaw, the team's other Aussie, had been shanking some early punts, but Payton and Kotwica adapted quickly. Rather than waiting for special teams segments in practice, they introduced spontaneous punting scenarios, putting the pressure on Crenshaw to perform on the spot. That sort of in-the-moment coaching not only helps players improve, it builds a real team culture of accountability and adaptation. It's the little things like this that show why players are buying in. Could Patrick Murto actually be the kind of late-season weapon that takes this roster from playoff contender to full-blown Super Bowl threat? Sean Payton's track record with tight ends is no joke. He's turned average players into Pro Bowlers and found creative ways to use athletic mismatches all over the field. Now imagine what he might do with someone built like Murto, 6 feet 6 inches, 250 pounds, and with the kind of raw explosiveness that literally made jaws drop during Jaguars camp before the injury. You don't stash a guy like that unless you believe he can eventually be more than just depth. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Murto's deep ties to the tight end room, and the insider whispers that Evan Ingram himself may have pushed for his signing. If that's true, it means more than just talent. It's about culture and trust. It means veterans are starting to recognize what Sean Payton is building here and want to be part of shaping the next wave of Broncos football. And speaking of building, let's go back to Bo Nix, because this story is still flying under the radar nationally. Sean Payton has gone from cautiously optimistic to openly confident in Nix's development. The preseason snaps, the command at the line, the expanded playbook. This is no longer the rookie from last year just trying to survive. He's now the QB1 with a head coach who's setting him up to thrive, not just manage games. George Payton calling him a franchise quarterback is no empty statement. That's the GM planting a flag and saying, this is our guy, and we're building around him. Meanwhile, the confidence doesn't stop there. Payton and Payton have doubled down on the trenches, bulking up both lines, knowing full well that games are won in the interior. It's a clear signal. This team isn't just aiming to compete, it's been constructed to dominate physically. That's why George Payton said, that's the recipe to win a lot of games. He didn't say maybe, he didn't hedge. This is a front office and coaching staff fully aligned and fully bought in. And while there's still debate over the punting situation, Jeremy Crenshaw's early struggles raised eyebrows. The coaching staff's solution was pure Payton. Simulate pressure. No warm-ups, no second chances. Just one shot, like in a real game. That kind of situational training is a glimpse into the level of detail this staff is operating at. You don't just practice, you prepare to win. The theme that's emerging is crystal clear. This Broncos team is not just better than last year. It's smarter, deeper, and far more unified. The vibe shift is undeniable. Payton's humor is back. His fire is focused. He's empowering his assistants, trusting his young quarterback, and pulling off savvy roster moves that keep the team flexible and dangerous. You can feel it in the building. Players are staying here for less money. Veterans are vouching for practice squad guys. Young stars are rising, and the front office is setting expectations sky high, not shying away from the pressure. This isn't just talk. This is calculated confidence. And we haven't even hit week 1 yet. So here's the question for you, Broncos fans. Is this the most complete and prepared version of the Broncos we've seen since the Super Bowl 50 season? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, if you love this kind of content and want more Insider Broncos breakdowns, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and check out the next video on screen. You won't want to miss what we're covering next. Go Broncos!